Everyone, welcome to the Grow Moon AMA. We have Logan Paul and Crypto Kenzie representing the team. Before we start, just a reminder, nothing you hear on here is financial advice, and AMAs are a chance for us to ask questions. They are not endorsements. Kenzie, Logan, tell us about Grow Moon.
Sure. I mean, just for my part of it, Kenzie's Crypto Kenzie, she is the actual developer, as far as, she owns the contract. She came up with the name. She's, our leader, the face of Grow Moon. I stumbled across the project, just last week, around 5K market cap. I love the name. There was people in there that, that it was almost like the stars collided. Like, I don't know how else the stars were aligned. Like when we met, like there was a whole app developer who has a multi-million-dollar app business. I talked to him. He's legit. And and we just thought of this idea, this business model, because I look at something, I look at potential, right, everywhere in the space. I'm like, okay, if it makes sense, and if the dev of the project is willing to listen and be guided, and work with me, then I'm all in, if it makes sense. Because as you know, I currently have another project going on. It's Spooky Shiba. It's not dead. It's still good. 4 million market cap. So, I mean, I'm learning with that project, what I've built already. I've learned from that. I've learned what it takes to create a good project. It needs a business utility behind it to attract some really big investors. And also, when it's produced, the utility's produced, you're not relying on just crypto investors. There's only 50 million of those, but we're attacking the world. We're going after the world where there's billions of people. So we're creating a real life utility here. And the idea behind this is microtransactions. So let's say you go to the store, right? You buy a coffee, right? Like Kenzie, she gets a Dunkin' Donuts, right? Cold brew, $1.50. You spend $1.50 on that cold brew. Well, our app is going to automatically charge an extra 50 cents to round up that roundup technology, and it's going to automatically invest it into Grow Moon for you, right? And our goal is to hit millions of users that use this app, that are using this microtransaction tech, and of course they're going to want to download the app. They're going to want to do this because of the benefits, because of some sort of like referral fees that we're going to do. We already have plans for that to entice them to download the app and use it. But when you have millions of people doing this daily, you're talking about millions of dollars coming in every single day. So not only the crypto users, the crypto people are going to see this, but also the people who are using it, that are currently, getting those microtransactions done. And then their $5 that they invested automatically turned into 10. And they're like, man, I need to put more money into this. So you have so many different angles from this that are making money.
All right, I want to get into the logistics of how that's going to happen soon here, but what was the genesis for this project? Like, what made you guys come up with that idea?
We were just in voice chat, and it was me, Kenzie, and tech support, Ryan. Just us three were in voice chat with quite a bit of people, and we were talking serious. Like I didn't know tech support at the time. I didn't know Ryan. I knew Kenzie. Like, Kenzie's a good person. Like, I've dealt with her before. I've seen her projects. And it's just, like everyone in the BSC space, like every dev, every project, you know how it goes. like it gets to that point, like projects go a certain length. There's a certain point with these projects, and you're like, what's next, right? There's a certain point, like even with Spooky, it's like, what's next? Like we had to, like we know what's coming. Like, of course, there's CMC, there's CoinGecko, there's Trade, there's blah, 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 but there's going to be always like a what's next. You're going to become old news eventually. So that business utility, what we're creating now, it's to set the pace that we don't need just hype. It's not just hype alone, but also like, hey, the business utility will pay for itself. Like it will create, it's like forcing volume for us. So all we have to do, because there's a world out here of people who aren't in crypto, but they're interested, right? They're on the fence. And we're going to be the first crypto for a lot of users. That's how a lot of these other cryptos are doing it. But, sorry, there's echo. Are you asking a question?
Yeah, actually. All right. So, I mean, one of the things I like the most about DeFi one thing I like about DeFi at this stage is bringing new people into it. How do you guys plan on actually reaching those people to let them know how to do this? So the major barriers I see is like people don't know how to buy the currency and load up a MetaMask and all that kind of stuff. What's your outreach program?
Yeah, so that's a good point. Our way we're going to do this, we're creating how to buy videos. We're creating the step-by-step guide for people in the most simplest way as possible, because we get it. Like there's a lot of loss in translation when you tell people they have to buy BNB, not the BNB beacon, but the BNB smart chain. You know what I mean? Like when you tell them these things, it's like another language, so we get it. The goal is exchanges. The goal is getting on MoonPay. I have contacts to MoonPay, Simplex. So it'd be a lot easier if we were in Trust Wallet and someone could just push the buy now button, and simply buy off their credit card, like in the early stages. But obviously, whenever we do have the app out, it's as simple as somebody loading the prepaid virtual cards, and us, that they can just load that prepaid card and we take it from there within the app. But as far as for now, we guide them.
Okay. And all right. You know what, before we get into the cards and the hard utility, let's move back and let's talk about the launch of this coin. So how did you guys launch the project itself? Was there a private sale? Was there a pre-sale? Or was it a stealth or fair launch?
So when I launched, it was just a normal launch, no pre-sale, no private sale, nothing like that. I came up with the name Grow Moon just because the first token I ever got into on BSC was Safe Moon. And I loved that community vibe. And old school BSC. So of course I took off like 5 months from crypto. And came back. I was like, I want to do something life changing. And so of course just did a normal launch. And then from there, of course, Logan came up brought his brains in. I brought mine in. Brian brought his in, and it took off from there. And back to the marketing question, I'm not sure we really touched on the marketing. I know we're doing a lot of real world marketing. I know Logan's going to set up at conventions as well as me. We're going to set up at conventions, give merch out. I've got my Good Morning America connections. He's got his connections. I mean, dude, Logan's like so connected. So we're going to do a lot of real world marketing, especially when this app is out. We're going to be doing a lot of that. So, and just bringing in real world investors.
Okay. King J, buddy, please keep yourself on mute while we're on the AMA. I'm going to mute you. All right. So forgive me. I just lost my train of thought there. What was I going to ask? Let me look at my notes. Okay. What are the taxes on the project?
I'm sorry, did you say the tax?
Yes, please.
Yeah. It's 9 in and 9 out. So low taxes.
And where do those taxes go?
Yeah, 2% goes to development, 2% to burn, and 5% goes to marketing.
And 5% to marketing.
Sorry, I had some dogs barking
at Kenzie, I have them barking at me all day in my house. You're cool. Okay, guys. I mean, this is super ambitious, right? So you're talking about creating a card that somehow stores funds that when I swipe the card rounds up and buys Grow Moon. That could be. I just remember when I was a kid, I had my Bank of America account and I had my little. It was called Roundup, and every time I swiped, it rounded up to the next dollar. I actually saved a bunch of money. So the volume that would generate would be awesome. How do you plan on actually doing it though? So what is the card partner? Something like MoonPay is super bullish, but how far along are you guys and where do you need to be before this is actually live?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. So our app developer, Ryan, he actually estimates our beta test version where we can try it amongst ourselves just for like trying it out with PayPal, via PayPal and the app, is going to be within a few months. So we're going to, before he wants it, our goal is before December time. Before we hit December, it'll be ready to test.
Yeah, and he's actually, I know Ryan has like a good roadmap he's working on at the moment. I'm not sure if he's in here. Ryan, are you in here?
About 140 people. If you are in here and you're muted, just raise your hand and I can get to you. Okay. No worries. Ochoa T, we just unmuted you, buddy. You're good to go. Okay, so give me 1 sec. Let me look over what I'm typing here. Okay, so you mentioned the person that you were using to develop this had an application business that was already successful. Is that something you guys can talk about?
Yep. So like he has all the connections to the business side of things on the app, which is great because I have all the connections to the legal side of things. And so it was a good mix because we're going to be able to protect the app from being, flagged or taken down, by any entity, any governmental entity, while he's able to create the value of the app, right? He's able to make it so it can get a business evaluation of 100 million plus, so that we can get VCs, giving us, anywhere $1 to $10 million.
Okay, so the plan would be to raise private funds to accomplish this.
Well, we don't need it. I mean, it's just there to, accomplish a valuation, so that we have that money there. That money is accessible. We're never short of funds, ultimately, with or without the Binance Smart Chain investors. The token itself is ultimately what is being invested in as a pool. So it makes sense for, it just makes sense for investors to buy the token because we're pretty much forcing millions of other people's, to invest and buy the token as well. So it's going to be a residual thing for them. While now you getting in now is like you're buying before the millions of people that get in. We're bullish on the logo, we're bullish on the name, and the actual contract itself with an automatic buyback and burn. The tokens just become less and less. There's only 1 million tokens, and we've already burnt 30,000 of them just from an automatic buyback and burn system.
Yeah, the tax for that is actually, over time that'll be pretty good. All right, so you mentioned earlier you guys wanted to get into Trust Wallet, and forgive me, I don't remember their exact requirement for holders. I believe it's 5,000. It's a lot, is what it comes down to, and your current holders are 411. So right. Talk about the marketing strategy between here and what I guess I'll just call the moon. What have you guys already done in marketing? Plan on doing? Even if we're just talking about like December, right? So this is BSC. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Coins can live and die in days, weeks, hours. What's your plan to get your guys there? You guys with me?
Oh yeah, I thought I pushed on you. Let me dial back. So yeah, I actually, I've been setting up things a little bit more organically, more of that organic push, because coin market cap's going to come, right? That's a guarantee. One of the mistakes I made with Spooky, and the reason CMC didn't pump us as hard as it could have, is because I didn't really hit the ground running. I didn't get a lot of organic. Things happened so quickly that people didn't have a chance to see our name. So when they did on CMC, it was something that came, and like a lot of people, I've never seen it before. I don't know, whatever. It's a Halloween thing, right? Well, here it's like I really want to make sure that people understand how far this is going to go. I really want to make sure that people see the name, we're in people's heads, and then when CMC hits, okay, then they're like, oh wait, I've checked them out at this market cap. Let me see where they're at, and they see that chart going straight up. Like, I just want everybody, I want to induce FOMO. Inducing FOMO is something that you're not supposed to be trading by, but it's something I'm supposed to be inducing and trying to create as a marketer. Ultimately, I want to create that feeling for you. But it's like I'm a follow through too. I'm also going to follow through to where, like, yeah, you should FOMO, because I'm actually, we're actually going to make it happen. I mean, if people follow me, understand, like, and see, like, wow, we created a whole game with Spooky Shiba. Like, we created a whole team that's self-sufficient and created a whole video game. How hard is it for us to create an app, within a couple months, right? So it's like I've already proven myself in this field. So it's not a question of if it's going to happen.
I think you cut off the end there, but I like where you're going. So let's talk about your experience. Spooky Shiba, I remember. Was King of the South on the team under a different name back then, Logan?
Who?
King of the South?
We had a lot of people that came and put their hand in, but just a temporary hand. Wasn't there to stay. They weren't like fully invested like that. People just, you know how it is with any of these projects. People come and people go, and the ones that stick around are the ones you're gonna know for a while, meet in person. Those types of people.
Okay, yeah, I feel you. I remember Spooky Shiba well, and I was actually just DMing a few people asking questions because my brain's not working well enough to actually remember the details. But give me a rundown of Spooky Shiba and your experience. So what did you accomplish there? What do you plan on bringing over to this part, to Grovewood?
Okay, so some things that you guys may not know in this space. When you look at the contract, okay, you have to think about the ticker symbol as well. So you're looking at ticker symbol, you're looking at different functionalities that work or don't work. A lot of people are just running contracts and they don't take a lot of little things into consideration that become a big pain in the ass later. Right? So that's why you see that we actually migrated contracts because of the name, the specific name in the contract wasn't fixed up right. Like, it hadn't have the right ticker symbol in the contract, et cetera. So we actually, with my experience, I came in and I was like, okay, we need a contract that says this. And this is like, it's going to be a pain in the ass later. So I was able to help guide Kenzie, like, pretty much on the right, like, a path a little bit quicker to success. You know what I mean? Not saying she wouldn't have gotten there without me, just saying I can help her in this whole project get there a lot quicker. So that was ultimately where I play my role, right? From my experience, I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and ultimately, man, it's just, yeah, like we're saying, like, being able to help provide, a clean, like, the clean contract, the right guidance here. That's really my role, as far as it goes. But yeah, the connections we have, man. I mean, we're gonna push CMC and CoinGecko trending. We've got the organic shilling. We're building the whale group. Like, I have people who literally are willing to pay, like, just give me $12,000, $20,000. Say, yeah, you need some money, here you go. You know, like that we don't usually have that resources starting off a project like this. You know what I mean?
No, that's what's great about having experience and friends in this space. Like, you don't start from the bottom launching a coin with, one BNB liquidity and no website. That is nice. But okay, let's say right now one of us gave you 30 grand. What is your plan to spend it on? What is the plan to move the project forward? I've heard you say things like community. All right, so like, what's the primary target that you guys are going for? Are you primarily English speaking? Do you have international communities? And then CGCMC, you mentioned those as well. Although I will say, I guess just as a disclaimer, no claims of listings are ever a guarantee. CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko are their own entities, and they determine what they post. With that being said, we all know there are ways that people do find a way on there. Has that already happened? Are you just waiting for the listing itself, or are you in the process of applying? And you just went dead on the mic, buddy.
You just went what?
Oh, sorry. We had like a weird noise. It just like shut off. You're back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as far as like CMC goes, and CoinGecko, we've already applied for CMC, and obviously I've got connections that can push it through. We're just waiting. We're waiting to push that through either today or early next week. That's the goal. But as far as right this moment, like, it wasn't a big priority to get it within 3 days or like too quickly. You can do things too quickly. And because you're doing them so fast, you're not giving anybody an opportunity to get on board. You're not giving anybody to experience this moonshot ultimately with you. And I hate calling us a moonshot because it's like the term itself is saying, oh, it's a shot at the moon. Well, this is like your guarantee, like a moon guarantee. Now is it a galaxy shot? Is it going to hit tens of billions of market cap? Will this become a top 100 coin? I think so. But CMC and CoinGecko, that we can do that anytime. We don't need them right now. We don't need to get on there, and we're in no rush because the app itself, what we're developing, and the fact we're going to do ground to ground marketing to a lot of people who don't know anything about crypto. I'm actually going to speak at a local convention. I'm here in Florida. How Hex got to be the top 20 coin just from that. All they offer is staking. You know what I mean? It's not like Hex is doing any type of crazy utility. Right? So all they did to get big was they went ground to ground and did marketing. Taught people how to buy on their app. Simple as that.
We're just talking about friends and all those things. And Hex was one of the largest sacrifices in the history of crypto. I'm still upset that I did not invest in Hex.
They pumped hard, and I saw them. They're what, in my opinion, from what I've seen, that's what I call unethical selling. I come from a background of salesman, like as far as selling goes, like that's what I've done. Like my later part of my life, I sold people on marketing, on my marketing ability. I sold people with businesses. I would literally walk into businesses like AC companies, landscapers, right? And I would sell them on packages on how I can help their business and marketing ultimately. And I've secured, $10,000 a month in just residual income with my past business. So I come from that background, and I brought that and integrated it into cryptocurrency. Right. So with that being said, we're developing a whole sales pitch, a whole walkthrough guide for people anywhere invested in our group. We have a whale group. There's just so much to this, right? I can jump from one thing to another, but we have a whale group, right, where people who have at least 5,000 tokens or more can be involved, right? And Kenzie, she's very active in there, and it gives you guys a chance to be really close to the team, because we're blowing up day by day. We got a lot of people being active, and it's hard to keep track of everybody in the main chat. So one of the best ways to do it is through the whale group itself. But yeah, guys, you're going to have a lot of benefits being there, like with our whales and Spooky Shiba. Like we are going to Las Vegas at 100 million market cap. Well, here we're going to figure out something a little different. Well, at 100 million market cap, it won't be Las Vegas. I think we'll go to Paris or something. So you want to travel the world, right? Well, shoot, just be in Grow Moon. You can we'll go somewhere really cool for a week. It'll be all expenses paid on us, God, sometimes I ramble, so please stop me.
No, dude, you're good.
I just get talking about this, and I just don't stop. So you just start something, and I'm like, oh man, I just get talking. So definitely my bad. But so yeah, as far as it goes, my experience is really sales and marketing, and that's a big piece to all these. You should get behind someone who does sales and marketing, guys, because you look at CZ Binance, right? Look at him. He's the prime leader and example for BNB. What does he do? He's out making connections with people on a daily basis. He's not behind a computer chugging away at code, right? He's got a whole team that does this stuff, right? And that's what we're trying to develop. We're trying to develop a team that can be reliable, that can work while we're out making connections, out seeing people, explaining to people how this works, and making it very simple for people.
Okay. So I'm currently looking at your, Kenzie, what would I call this? Oh, it's called the Grow Paper.
Yes.
This looks, I just posted this for you guys in the chat too, if you want to take a look at the channel. I just posted their Grow Paper. And all right, so I have a lot of questions here. Let's start with just the basics. So Logan, you mentioned one of the mistakes, or not mistakes, one of the things you overcame in Spooky Shiba was the contract migration to V2, and you tried to nip that in the bud early here. Do you guys have plans on getting an audit to show the community that, you all made the right call with the contract and that it's safe to handle the microtransactions?
Yeah, I cut some of that. What did you say about you said something about the microtransactions? I didn't catch all that question.
An audit. He was asking about the audit.
Oh, yeah. So in my experience of auditing, I did CertiK before, okay, so Spooky was blowing up in February, and I was like, I need to get a really good audit, so I went with CertiK. But even till this day, they still never finished it. The audit, I went with CertiK originally with Spooky. So, but they were $15,000 for the full package deal, right? And they still never finished it. So then we went with TechRate because we needed an audit, something to show people, and they did it in a couple of days, $1,500. So we can get an audit anytime we want. The audit's is using the same contract as Spooky Shiba. We've developed a contract already that works really well. It's a multi-purpose contract for almost any project, unless it has something super unique that you need a custom-made contract. So our contract's already been audited technically, but this one needs to be its own. It needs to get its own audit, obviously, because it's got the different name, different ticker, just specifically for it. So we will get an audit. I'm thinking next week we can do it anytime. We can have a Rush Express 24-hour one done by TechRate for $1,500. It's really convenient.
Okay, and as far as smart contracts are concerned, there's currently one. Will you guys need to implement any new ones to run the microtransactions?
Yeah, so the microtransactions are going to work via our own liquidity pool, right? So we're pretty much going to store the Grow Moon tokens, and then when people spend their money, it's just pretty much an easy swap and we can take that liquidity and buy BNB with it, from our side. So it's not like it's like we're becoming our own little mini exchange. Ultimately, it's like we're on exchange. Like an exchange takes things off the blockchain. You can expect us to do that within the card, and the initial fiat on ramp.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess speaking of exchange, we'll get to the next part here. Do you have any plans on listing on a decentralized exchange? I'm sorry, centralized exchange.
Yeah, there's plans. We're in no rush to get on exchanges. I mean, we Hotbit. Like, look at Hotbit. What's going on with Hotbit, for example? We start getting on, trying to just list everywhere, diluting our supply and all that, our liquidity. Then we're making ourselves, vulnerable for volatility and vulnerable for exchanges themselves and whatever they're doing behind the scenes that we're not paying attention to. So we got to be careful. We're going to list on some major exchanges when the time is right. We have KuCoin in mind. I wouldn't mind listing on KuCoin, Binance. I wouldn't mind listing on Gate.io and OKX. That's it. Those are the four. Huobi as well. HUOBI. Like those 4 or 5 are the main ones that I would focus on right now. All the rest of them, not really concerned. But I have connections to Crypto.com. I have connections to KuCoin, and Binance as well. I do have connections to Binance, but they're a little bit more obviously strict on their listings. I mean, even Baby Doge isn't listed on there. But I believe that has to do with their reflections, which is another, like from my experience, is why we don't give reflections. Is why we don't, I never do that anymore because it bites you in the ass later.
Fair. All right. I'm looking at your holders right now, and I see you guys put 15% towards liquidity. The contract itself is holding 7%, and the burn address is holding 3%.
Almost. You got that backwards on the liquidity and the contract. The Pancake Swap itself is holding 7%, while the 15% is going to be used, is locked up right now, and going to be used for future referrals, right? Referral fees. So I keep getting automatically muted. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What a great application we chose to run crypto on.
Yeah, for real.
Literally.
Well, it gets better, but anyways, yeah. Okay, so the pink lock that I'm looking at, that answers my question. So if you guys have those plans and you have these, you're going to create a separate pool tied to USDT or something, you have 15% of the supply with which to do it, and it's currently locked on Pink Sale. How long is the current lock, guys? I guess that question's for you, Kenzie. How long is the...
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if he was going to answer it or if I was going to answer it. So we have it locked right now, I believe, until around November, which that'll be extended. But we'd like to use those tokens that are locked up, like he said, for referrals. So we're saving that extra supply for that. Whenever we do drop that app, we want to be able to do incentives so they can use it. If they put in $100 from their bank, we're just throwing things out, but we give them $100 if they use it like 5 times, certain things like that, or referrals, like refer a friend. I know Logan has the stats on PayPal, but I know when Elon started PayPal, he basically run it off referrals, and that's how it got so big. So we definitely have supply saved up for that. And it's locked, I believe, until November, and then we're going to be extending it. It just depends. I mean, if we get this app up and running, sooner, then obviously we won't extend it. We'll be using it. So it's kind of just a play by ear on how it goes and how quick we get the app out. As of right now, I believe the beta is supposed to be out around October, and then the version 1 is expected to be out by Christmas. But like I said, also, I mean, if we, got a crazy amount of volume, started blowing up. The token started getting big. We started getting the funds sooner than I would imagine we could hire people. And Ryan said he could literally get it out within a week or two. So, it's a little process there, but yeah.
Okay. Solid, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm just going through the community questions now. We have a decent amount of them, so I think I'm going to stop asking questions. Guys, before we jump to VC, I just want to cover a few of the questions asked in the text section, and then we'll jump to your questions in VC. Mediocritor, great questions here. So if the GrowMoon credit card accepts fiat and crypto deposits, are all countries' currencies accepted? And how many types of crypto will work with it? I think I know the second part.
Yeah.
What about?
So that's a good question. And at first, the first release of this is going to include a prepaid option where you load your own money onto the card, and it's going to be via PayPal, a virtual, card via PayPal. So if PayPal is accepted in your country, then you're able to use PayPal. I think that's global. I think PayPal was first introduced, as a company that can make global payments. I know I used to pay people in the Philippines all the time, with PayPal. So, I don't see why not. I think it will. I think you'll be able to use it wherever you're at in the world. Pretty 100% on that.
Okay, hope that answers the question. The answer is anywhere PayPal is accepted. Let's see. Mediocre, I'm going to skip over number 2. Number 3 is something I was going to ask. Thank you, sir. What about a chance of a bridge? So you guys plan on keeping this exclusively on BSC, or are there plans on other chains as well?
Most people would say yes, but for me, it's like if it's not broke, you don't fix it. Us spreading our liquidity to Ethereum or any other chain would be more of a hype move than a actual necessary move, because there's nothing wrong with BNB. It's actually one of the better chains that I believe is strong and will grow to be bigger and one of the best cryptos out there, based on the fact it's a business utility chain. A lot of people don't understand that Binance Exchange is the strength behind BNB. Binance is the number one exchange out there. Tokens they yearn to list on Binance. That's the number one exchange. You get there, you've done it. As considered a coin or token goes. So yeah, when Binance is your number one exchange, it's a pretty big flex for BNB, and not even including the fact that CZ Binance is the leader of it, and the fact that BNB is cheap on the gas fees. Very convenient. The USD is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And also, there will be no need to bridge whenever they're literally just putting it from their card and it converts it for them. So there's just really not going to be a need, because we're just bringing them in that way.
Solid answer. All right. Let's see. I like this question for every project. So you guys launched on the 3rd of August, and you're sitting at 260,000 market cap. What were some of the troubles faced that you overcame during that time to get here?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I can answer that. So, of course, I had taken a break. Me and Vice, my fiance, Johnny, we he kind of worked with me. We launched it. So the contract that I used, there wasn't anything wrong with it. It just was a major setback, to be honest. It didn't have the buyback and burn. The app that we were developing, it wasn't working with the app. And honestly, it wasn't made for heavy amounts of volume. So I will say that was kind of a struggle that we faced in the beginning. And then, of course, I was terrified to do a migration. I've never done a migration, so I was terrified to do that. And let me tell you, it went so smooth. Ren, Logan, absolutely killed it. Like literally got the migration done within, like 30 minutes. So I'd say that was a little struggle that we had, was just that original contract. And then other than that, dude, everything went smooth. I mean, the community has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. We have those old school BSC vibes in there, man. Like we're doing trivia and VC, just chilling, having fun. But yeah, I'd say that was a little struggle that we had in the beginning.
Okay. There is no project that doesn't struggle, especially if you're making a long-term one. Let's see what we got here. You're very welcome, Miyake. All right, next up, we're going to do... Yeah, let's do SpongeBob Marley. Does the core team have any plans of creating other communities like China, Singapore, Korea, Turkey, other crypto invested areas?
Yes. So who asked that question?
That is SpongeBob Marley.
SpongeBob Marley, what's up, my guy? So if you go into our Telegram and you type whatever country you're in, it'll pop up, or just type in groups. It'll pop up all of our groups. But yes, we have literally been building up all of our communities. We've been working on that. Our Chinese community is lit, dude. Like, it's fun. We have literally a community for every language just about. So if you go in there and type groups, you'll find, other people that are invested in Grow Moon that, might possibly be around you, live around you. And we're actually speaking about doing a Chinese AMA. I'm not sure, Logan, are we doing that?
Sorry, what language?
Chinese. The Chinese AMA.
Yeah, we're talking to one right now, and we even have a YouTuber tomorrow that's pretty big. That's getting us on there, making a whole YouTube video with us. She's really good at editing, and she has a really nice organic audience building up. So we're going to be on with her, Maria Anderson. She's tomorrow. But yeah, we've got a lot of connections. Like I've got a lot of connections. I know what worked and what hasn't worked for me. So we're going to be saving a lot of money on this one. With the marketing funds, we're just going to use it for what works. Ultimately, I mean, we think about any of the big projects. Why were they big? I mean, it wasn't from, any particular marketing effort. It was from simply people telling others about it. That's why it got so big. Same like anything like SafeMoon and Shiba Inu. It's funny though too. Man, my first project I invested in was Shiba Inu, and Kenzie's first project she invested in was SafeMoon. So I made a spooky Shiba, and she made a Grow Moon. So it was kind of funny. It's kind of crazy with the
yes. I think that YouTuber we're doing the AMA for tomorrow, isn't she Brazilian or from Brazil?
She's from Spain.
Spain.
So
okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, that'll hopefully build our Spain community as well.
Great. Yeah, I mean, we cannot. That's the beauty of DeFi, right? Like, one country does not run this at all, so we can pull in as many people from across the world as that will listen to us. All right. Oh, okay. Good question. Is there a limit to the amount of rewards that you can receive? Well, I guess that wouldn't make sense because you're buying it yourself. But anyways, is there an amount that I can spend that will max out my ability to purchase Grow Moon with my card?
So there's no. Well, at this moment, we don't have a max, unless it's going to, be a big deal with the beta. I don't think there will be a max load fee or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to just put whatever you want on there, just like any other virtual card. Now, here's the thing: referral fee. There's no max to what you can make. You can bring on somebody. And they meet certain criteria, like they load at least $100 and spend at least 5 transactions, and you and that person would get $100 as well. That's probably where we're aiming with the referral fee. We want to give away some pretty, a sizable chunk of money so that people are more inclined to get people to use the app in the beginning. And that's our goal. Because I mean, I've read Elon Musk and heard about him. in interviews on how he got PayPal big. You know, what was the main thing? And I was learning that because I've obviously had my businesses in the past. I was thinking about how he does it. How did he make his business huge? Well, he just came out of pocket. He just at first came in just boom, $200 million. They invested into the marketing. That's how much they came up out of for their referral, just for the referral basis of things. You know, $200 million. Can you imagine?
No, I cannot. No. Yeah, I've watched a lot of documentaries about Mr. Musk. He's a very interesting guy.
I wanted to throw out some little stats real quick before I forgot. So we're not Coinbase, we're not Acorn. To lay out a little, vision, we're different than both of those apps. But I'll tell you, Acorn is in that, will bridge fiat to stocks, right? So Acorn is currently, the net worth of Acorn, I think is around 3 billion. So if that gives you any idea what we'll be doing with crypto. Now, the only app for crypto that'll, do crypto much is the Coinbase, obviously. And they were valued around 90 billion back in November. So that just gives you any idea, and everybody listening, the possibilities we can bring to BSC, and the possibilities that the life-changing opportunities for everybody that gets into Grow Moon early. And not even just early, everybody that gets into Grow Moon in general. This can be life-changing. So I just wanted to throw those stats out because with our Roundup technology as well, it's going to be even bigger than someone that could just bridge over to crypto with fiat,
Yeah, guys, this is super ambitious, and if you pull it off, it could really be a big deal. I keep thinking back to just how surprised I was by how much money I saved with those 50-cent roundups when I was a kid, and that would be really cool to see it happen on crypto. Also, PayPal is super popular, so it would probably
and the fact that Elon, and the fact that it's Elon's thing. It's just pretty cool, I think. And Elon obviously supports crypto, so
it's how he made his money. That's a true story. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I will get back to our last two text questions, but I want to save the last few minutes here for people in BC. Guys, if you have a question, unmute yourselves. Please do not speak over each other. There are a lot of us here today. I'm going to
Hey,
give you...
Achilles.
Hey, Amos, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Can I ask a question?
You may.
Okay, so in your tokenomics, Kenzie, so buyback. So how often are you thinking of doing buybacks for your project?
Yeah, so the smart contract automatically buys back and burns. So you can actually watch the buys that come in. Some of those buys are the contract buying back, and it doesn't just buy back, it burns it. So the supply currently, and let me look up the updated stats from as of right now, but we have burned 28,933 tokens, and we now have 971,067 circulating in supply. So we have burnt a lot. We've done a lot of buybacks and burns on that smart contract, if that helps answer your question.
Of that, just to give you a little example of the actual circulating supply, what's being held by holders is the majority of the tokens. You only have 68,777 in liquidity pool right now. So that is almost a third of the available tokens to purchase right now that have been burned.
Yeah, it's insane. It squeezes that price up. In just the last 24 hours, we've burnt 1,055. This contract was literally made to make everybody money. So I love it.
No, that speaks well. Go ahead, Amos. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I get the buyback stuff. I saw in your group paper. Do you mind me reading it? Okay.
Sorry?
In your growth report, it says that the first version of the credit card app will include a prepaid card that can load with funds via fiat and crypto means. So I I want to just ask, in some countries where they don't support crypto, like in Nigeria now, some of the policemen, the cops, they can if they see some crypto stuff on your phone, they might arrest you, something like that. There was a time they were doing something like this. So having your prepaid card now does it mean it will be kind of have no value in countries like this? You get the question?
I personally not sure on the question. Are you asking how we're going to be adaptable for countries like this? I mean, like that are less.
Yeah. How do you plan on being adaptable for countries that don't support crypto?
It's a tough question. I mean, integration and adaptability are our main goal, and there's just a lot of parts of the world that aren't quite there yet. So how are we going to bridge that gap? Well, I mean, that's tough. I mean, really having a phone in your hand, you have the ability to do this stuff. You can have a phone, you can make it happen. Right? There's people out there in countries where, the walls are clay and I guess it's tough. They live in a village, but they literally pay for packages for Wi-Fi with their phone or data with their phone, and they're shilling for us. That's it. They're working like a job. They're shilling, and those are the kinds of people we hire. We hire shillers. We have shillers like in our main group. We pay out like anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 a week for shillers. So we're constantly creating this organic motion, this movement on Twitter. So we've provide opportunity for those who are less, or a little bit more unfortunate than others, in their circumstances. So it's not impossible, but at the bare minimum, you need a phone. Like without a phone, how can I help you? You don't have the main axis of communication. You're out of the loop. So it's hard to help those types of people don't have a phone. In the future, like once we're successful, can we provide phones for people on some sort of plan? And yeah, of course, we can provide phones, basic phones. I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Well,
So I hope that answered it. I am going to cut you off, buddy, just because we've only had time for one question so far, and I'd like to squeeze in a few more. I just messaged Kenzie slyly to see if we could let this run a few extra minutes, because I do think there are probably some other people with questions. Does anybody else in VC have a question before I go back to the text chat?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hey man, how are you?
All good, all good. All right. So, quick question, right? I looked through your tokenomics. I don't see an allocation for the team, and you just made mention of paying your shillers. So, my first question, actually is how do you actually pay these guys? Is this off of your pocket, or how does it work?
Yeah. It's from the marketing. The marketing wallet is used to pay shillers, to pay the people who are working on a daily basis. We have a different way of paying the shillers in our Army group. So if you literally go to the main chat and type the word Army or shilling group, any of these keywords, it'll trigger the link. It's literally at Grow Moon Army. You guys can go in there, and we're hosting giveaways every week. We're constantly giving shillers money, paying anywhere from $250 to $300 a day. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just go there and you just look at all the rules, check out, make sure you're following the pinned messages. And Jamie's our raid leader. You guys can talk to him.
Great. You also mentioned your micro transaction technology, whatever it's called. I can't get the name exactly. Could you please touch on it again? Just expatiate exactly on how it works.
Babyface, I love you. That was the entire AMA. You just asked the question about my man. The microtransactions are the core utility of this project. Please feel free to look back on the reporting for all the details that the team went over about it. In the meanwhile, one more VC question, guys, then I'm going to answer a few text questions that I like. last call for VC.
I think that's all, Achilles. I just want to mention to the team, like, I think there's a mistake in the website because the taxes in the beginning when you open the website is that there's 6% marketing and 1% development. So just a minimal mistake, I think. But below there's like what Logan says, it's 2% and 5%. So yeah, please check it out. Something that could.
Yeah. I
That's a good
mentioned that
point.
last night. It's being updated. I think it's just the servers are taking a minute to update it. But so we are breaking down to basically zero taxes, which it says on the website. But we're eventually going to zero taxes and renouncing ownership when we hit, a certain market cap.
Actually, ironically, I was just looking at that, so I can go over that real quick. It's 9% until 3 million, 7% until 50 million, 5% until 150, 3% until 200, and 1% after that.
Yes, because there's literally no reason to have taxes when people are throwing in, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Definitely would tax people a lot.
Yeah, whales don't like that very much either. They do like low tax coins, and most of the big ones that make it get up there. Okay, guys, let me jump to one text question that I liked, and we will end the recording. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So what I liked here is from Matt, but Matt, forgive me, I'm going to rephrase it a little bit. So I got to say, your utility is quite innovative in the sense of like I had not seen a Roundup credit card for crypto at all. Just the ability to buy with fiat's awesome for a project, but to be able to see that as like an automatic purchase would be great. Let's say this is successful for GrowMoon. Do you have any plans to allow other cryptos to use this?
I was going to give that to Logan if.
Yeah, I didn't quite question. Can you repeat that?
So,
if other cryptos will be like on our app, able to use it on our.
That's a good point. I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, we're gonna obviously by default you're gonna be GrowMoon by default, and we're gonna offer more incentives for you to just fiat to GrowMoon, get GrowMoon as a crypto. So we're gonna offer more incentives on our side, but obviously we're not gonna stop you from like if that's something you're not trying to get, you like, oh, I just want to use Bitcoin, or I just want to get whatever. We're not going to stop you from making those choices. We're just, we're going to collect our fee for sure. We're going to collect our fee for using our app and still building GrowMoon because you want Bitcoin or you want something else. That's fine. That's all. That's by all means. That's fine. You can do that. You'll be able to do that within the app.
Great. Yeah, I think that's like, I'm sure you guys know SafeMoon Wallet and that kind of stuff. Like, that'd be a cool way to tie everybody else in. My final question, which I forgot to ask during the main part, is are there any partnerships that you guys plan to announce in the near future?
Yeah, as far as partnerships go, I've been talking to a lot of bigger people myself. So there's a lot of Bitcoin maxis on Twitter that have been running around. Like you have David Gokhshtein, for example, and you got CryptoBurb. I don't know if these names sound familiar to you guys, but these are some of the partnerships that we're looking at to getting more closer to the app release. So when it's released, we're going to have some serious names already, already in the door looking at it, have been looking at it. I've been talking to already, and and they're salivating on the fact, jumping on this first before any of the other guys. So they can be like, yeah, well, I call this at 250,000 now at 225 million. A lot of these guys are looking for that opportunity to jump on something like this. So we're just we're taking our time. We're being patient, but I've been making those connections for sure on the partnership side. But yeah, definitely a lot of partnerships in the future. Celebrities, Bitcoin maxis, and potentially other big cryptos as well. But that's going to be something definitely down the line. Excellent.
All right. let's see. I mean, I think we covered everything, guys. Haven, I'll give you guys one last chance. If anybody wants to jump in for a question, just because the team was kind enough to give us a little bit of extra time, I'll allow that. But otherwise, we're going to end the recording. Okay. Logan, Kenzie, if either of you have any closing comments, now is the time, and I'll end the recording right after.
Yeah, I'll let Kenzie wrap it up. But for me, guys, like I just want to let you guys know that there's a lot of projects coming in and going, and it's just me. I've recently changed my habits to where I don't focus 5 minutes of my time on something that I won't be involved in 5 years later. You know, it's got to be a long term for me because, you know, for all these things that I've done, I feel like I've wasted my time on a lot of things in the past, you know, just from not considering the long term goal. So that's what I've changed, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm fully supporting this. It's like I want to be a part of something that touches the world. I don't want to be part of degens anymore. The space is getting ruined by degens. I want to just focus on the long-term projects, the ones that are going to be billions of market cap, the ones that can really change lives, that I can actually recommend my family to, my friends to, and feel good about it. You know, like I'm tired of. I feel bad that I can't bring in, you know, family and friends into a project because I don't know the dev. I don't know if they're going to run with the money. That's scary in this space. That's everywhere. 99% of these projects are going down. We got to change this space. You know, we really have to start thinking about putting the majority of our money into good projects. And then, yeah, if we want some gamble money, some play money, sure. You know, of course, there's those, but not the whole space. The whole space has to stop being a gamble.
Yes, and my last words, I'm gonna come on video for it.
There we go.
Achilles said, "Let's turn on our cameras." It's like 8 a.m. Hi, my last words are just come check us out. Come in our main chat, hang out with us. We have a whale group if you have 5,000 tokens. Like I said, we have an army group. We're like literally giving away free money just to chill. Yeah, we have giveaways all the time. Competitions, like we've literally given away like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So come hang out with us. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say. So
Bye, Gromoon.
Bye, Gromoon. Bice just walked out. So yes.
Epic. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to end the recording and then we're going to move on to our giveaway portion.